Welcome back to the Blitz Crosstalk. I'm Brianna, joined by my co-host and former NFL scout, Brian. I'm loving
Joe Burrow.
Yes.
Joe Burrow, here we go.
And it actually feels like football weather today.
It is.
A nice breeze out here.
Kind of moving us around a little bit. You and I had to move around a little bit. We're right across the street from the Star because of the things you're doing with, you're doing with the COVID protocols. So right across the street, the Omni Hotel, and out in the I think it's outside the lobby area here. It's kind of nice. Kind of nice outside, yeah.
Excellent cup of Joe there.
Absolutely, good for you. How about your football team?
Dismantling of the Washington football team.
Yeah, I think that to me is, this team is a different team at home.
They are.
You need to kind of figure this out, and you're not going to need us to tell you guys how important I think home games are for this team. Trying to get the number one seed. If not the number one seed, try and at least get the second seed, because there'll be some upsets. I do believe there'll be some upsets, and you never know. You might somehow get that championship game here if you're the second seed, if you have some upsets along the way. But it's playing well right now. Defensively, it's playing well. Quarterback got back on track.
Yes, he did.
Wide receivers got back on track. And so, overall, I think you have to be happy. Big game, though, against Arizona this week, though.
Oh, yeah. But looking at the offense against Washington, they struggled despite being, 4-0 in December, they've struggled offensively, kind of got back into that rhythm. And I think for me, it was a combination of the up-tempo, no-huddle offense.
Look at you, up-tempo, yeah.
Yeah, you had Dak using his legs more. You didn't really see that hesitation as he, expanded plays outside of the pocket, but also they were able to take shots downfield. On some of those free plays, and hey, they used my 4 verticals there.
They did use your 4 verticals.
Yeah. I was listening.
Well, Kellen Moore's, you got to watch. You got to watch and learn. But no, I think everything you were talking about is absolutely right. And this team, it's strange how that when it turns into, again, a home game, then all of a sudden the offense finds itself. It's like, red zone, no problems.
6-6.
Creativity, let's throw the ball to a tackle. Referees, everybody's eligible, and that kind of thing. And it's strange. And Brie, I wonder, and I was going to ask you this, and maybe I talked about it last week. When you get old, you kind of forget things. But I was wondering, this thing with with Kellen Moore, when he takes the offense on the road, is it, it's Jason Garrett, play close to the vest, don't let anything happen. Punting is not a bad thing. Let's try and win it in the fourth quarter. I don't know. This offense, it's just so different. You could look at the numbers, even the quarterback.
Right.
And we used to get on like Amari Cooper, why is his home split? Why is his home splits worse than his road splits and stuff? And it's just, it's just not it's something they have to figure this out. They really, really do. This thing, the defense looks like it can travel.
Oh, yeah.
The defense looks like it can travel. Yeah. And big challenges, though, again, this weekend with Kyler Murray, but no Hopkins for Arizona. And no J.J. Watt. So those kinds of things will help you along the way.
When you look at the Cardinals' defense, Vance Joseph likes to use multiple fronts. Mike McCarthy was saying yesterday more 3-4 packages than what they've seen. They added an extra linebacker. Now, as of late, they've struggled against the run. But how do you think the Cowboys should attack?
Well, that's a really good question, because what I think is when you look at Arizona, and I think it really starts up front with Chandler Jones.
Right, okay.
Up there, and then how do you handle Chandler Jones? And, he's very similar to what the Cowboys would do with Michael Parsons. Okay. And I mean that in a way of, I'm going to stand him up here. I'm going to move him to the other side. I'm going to find a way to put him in the middle. They try to move their guys around. Golden is another guy that they move around and try and find. Marcus Golden, you try and find spots.
Right.
And so what they're doing is they're creating stress on the offensive line. And so I kind of feel like, though, that it's going to have to be, and the great thing about it is with Tyron Smith coming back is that you'll have that for the first time all year. The first time that since you and I are doing these shows that you have all 5 of your offensive linemen together. And I think that's something that as a Cowboy fan you have to be super happy about, because again, the matchups in these games, Brian, you know this better than anybody. Good on good, good on good, good on good. Okay, fine, good on bad. And with the
those matchups,
with the Cowboys, I don't think there's that bad along that offensive line. I don't think there's that bad, and so that's where I think when the Cowboys look at this, they got to block this front. They got to be mindful of where Budda Baker is.
Yes.
Okay, now, and I say this in a way because Budda Baker's a little banged up. I don't think he's practiced. He didn't practice yesterday, which we're taping on Thursday right now. So I would be, when you watch him on tape, he's this guy that's around the line of scrimmage. He's rushing from depth. He's rushing from the edge.
They line him up everywhere.
Yeah, and so that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you mentioned it with Vance Joseph and what he's done with these guys. They're not going to sit there and say, okay, we're just going to play in the same front and same and da-da-da-da-da. Now, they got to be careful of Dak. And if you decide to blitz Dak, you can blitz Carson Wentz and cause problems. That's not an issue. But Dak is a guy that when he faces blitzes, he tends to makes big plays. So Vance Joseph has to be very mindful of that. If you're the Cowboys, I was encouraged by the way the Colts ran the football.
Yeah.
So
granted, they have Jonathan Taylor, but
it was encouraging.
Right.
It was encouraging, and that's where I kind of feel like I do worry about this though, Brianna. I know you asked me about how do you attack. I do worry about Arizona as a desperate team. I do worry. Yeah. I mean, they're still in the thick of fighting for their division.
That's what I was thinking too.
And you always worry about the desperate team coming in. And Arizona, 7-1 on the road, and you're kind of like, okay, I see where we're going here. So, this is a team that, even though they've had their struggles, lost to the Lions, Cliff Kingsbury has had issues as a coach late in the season, those are all things you kind of have to, those things aren't just, we made these things up. Those are real issues that Arizona has. I mean, there's problems that you're going to have with Kyler Murray and some of these defensive players. They're going to have the same problems with Dak Prescott and your defensive players as well.
Right. And their offense has struggled, and they don't have DeAndre Hopkins, but at the same time they have those talented pieces. It's just a matter of finding that game where they hit their stride, and obviously hopefully it's not this week. They've struggled in the red zone. They've had the costly holding penalties, receivers kind of inability to create separation. Some of the things that, the Cowboys have had issues with. But when you look at Kyler Murray, his ability to
why would you do that this morning?
Extend plays outside the pocket.
That's what I'm saying. When you watch Kyler Murray, what do you see? I mean, how would you, if you're the Cowboys and you've got this passion, everybody says, go spy, 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 spy. I have some thoughts about that, but I'm interested in what you would say. How would you try and play Kyler Murray?
Well, I think for this game specifically, this is going to be a critical game for gap discipline, make sure they're setting the edge, because, if you are not disciplined in your run fits, this guy will destroy you. He can come up into any hole, he hits it,
Stop being so smart.
He is elusive.
No, that's exactly right.
He's kind of one of the guys, I would say, in the league, the most impressive guys when they break contain to me is Lamar Jackson and Kyler Murray. That you've seen since I can really remember. I would say both of them are. So I think to me that's what's going to be key. And I think you could use a guy like Micah Parsons, his closing speed. I think he would be a guy that can help contain him when he breaks, tackle him in the backfield, and not give a big gain. But really, I think the continuity up front is going to be.
You don't need me for these shows.
In this game.
You don't need me. That's exactly right. People say go spy, go do this, go do that. No, you've got enough speed on defense. You get enough speed with.
Heck, Jaron Curse, man. He's.
They're going to run up the field, redirect. Curse. You talk about Tank Lawrence. You talk about Randy. You talk about Osa Odigizua. You talk about Parsons. I mean, this defense has speed. You don't have to spy. To me, spy is waiting. No, don't wait. Go get him.
Yeah.
Don't let him get going and moving around and running all over the place, and then you're sitting there flat-footed trying to go make a play. No, you've got enough speed on defense to go and attack him. Don't sit there and like, okay, spy. Where's he going? Oh wow, he just
give him a few seconds.
Yeah, and he just ran by me. You know, I mean, he had like a 59-yard run in that Colts game where it was they do the read option, he pulls, and everybody's flying one way, and he takes off the other. That's the stuff you're gonna have to. That's the stuff you're gonna have to deal with in this football game. I mean, you hit the nail on the head. Gap discipline. How about just overall discipline? You can't go flying up the field and flying down inside and then him pull that ball and come around the edge and then there's nobody there. I mean, everybody, when you play guys like this, they freeze you. They freeze you because you're so like, the move, what is he going to do? Lamar Jackson, you said it the best. Move, what's he going to do? And he freezes. He makes a defense play slow because you're afraid of what he can do with the ball. And I remember our old friend Rod Marinelli. Rod Marinelli talks about playing against these guys, the Lamar Jacksons and the Russell Wilsons and those guys. Make them play backwards. Make them. When you watch Kyler Murray and the problems that he has, he goes backwards, and it's like he's a shorter guy, so he's throwing off his back foot, and so he's trying to see and he can't see. And it's like Rod used to say, make him play in a well. Make him play having to throw the ball up like that, and then you have some chances. So he is a rare player. It's funny. All my crusty friends in the National Football League that are old like me, that we would have never drafted Kyler Murray first overall. 20 years ago, a 5'10" quarterback would not have been picked first overall. But now you're looking at rare skill, rare ability, just the way he paralyzes defenses. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys are equipped. Don't get me wrong; they're equipped to play on the outside and cover with Christian Kirk. Those guys, you got to cover. Zach Ertz. I mean, you mentioned Curse. Yeah. I mean, they're going to try and get the ball to Zach Ertz. It's going to be screens and underneath stuff, and they'll try and take a shot or two down the field. Kyler Murray's never lost at AT&T Stadium either. High school, college, pro, they hadn't lost. So he's going to walk in there feeling pretty good about himself. But the Cowboys this is not one of these games you just say, oh, throw your hands up, oh, they can't do it. Right. But what you said about defense is absolutely right.
Well, and I think what players say is also very telling. And Micah was asked about spying yesterday.
Yeah.
And typically in the past, he has explicitly said it.
Yeah.
Like, we've got to spy him up. I mean, he said that back when they played Jalen Hurts. But this week, he kind of beat around the bush and was like, whether it's me or somebody else, but he emphasized, hunt.
Yeah.
So it makes me think that, the coaches might have the same, with the Broadus on that one, that, you've got to attack this guy.
Well, you have to. To me, don't let him paralyze you.
Right.
If you're going to make a mistake, make a big mistake. I mean, go after him. Teams have found a way. It's amazing that as elusive as he is, I've seen guys get back to him and he's running and you trip him. And you dive at him and you trip him and he tumbles. That's what this game is going to come down to. It's going to come down to your ability to make big plays on offense, because I think they're a good defense. I think that Arizona's a good defense. I think they're in a bad run right now, as far as team and winning games. But overall, this is going to be a hell of a football game. But Dallas at home, we talked about it earlier. This team offensively at home has been outstanding. The defense has gotten better every single week. Special teams is probably going to come up with some type of play that's going to maybe be the difference in this game. So it should be a lot of fun.
So you mentioned the height. Now, some of their issues in the red zone, do you think potentially some of that
Can't see.
Is his height? That he can't, when you get down shorter field, that he can't see over the top and he doesn't have the field.
You're a tall lady. You're a tall lady.
I am.
All right, you trying to get into a little sports car. is kind of a leg in,
that'd
leg
be like
in,
in the air, in the airplane where your legs are
exactly. You don't fly in first class?
No.
What's your deal?
No, I do not.
We're gonna work on that. So, but you know, the thing about it is, you're right. When you're tall, it's hard to get in little spaces. When you're little spaces are cool. But little spaces, can you see everything in little spaces? Right. You know, and that's the thing with Kyler Murray, that to me, things shrink and all of a sudden things have to happen quick. And where Kyler Murray is really, really good is extend, which should be good down the red zone, but then it gets tight where there's so much clutter down there. Now, where he will kill you is the read option stuff. You know, he will read it and you're crashing and he'll pull and he'll just run around the end. You know, I remember like the opening game they were playing at Tennessee. I think he had one where he pulled and just went right around the edge, and nobody was there to get him. So, but yeah, I think some of the things, especially throwing the ball, the shorter you are, the harder it is when things are kind of in your face and you're running around doing that. Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how things shake up at AT&T on Sunday.
What do you think?
I'm ready.
What do you think?
I'm ready for it.
You ready? They're gonna keep winning, right? I mean,
they do.
Nobody.
2 games left, and they still.
That Philadelphia game might mean something too. I know it might mean something for Philadelphia.
Right.
You know. So yeah, I mean, you don't want to look ahead.
It's Philly. They want to make a statement regardless.
Yeah.
But I mean, because you're still, despite their just utter domination against the Washington football team, well, you still got it's Washington. It's one game. Was this an aberration? Is this a one-off? And they still need to create that fear and show that we can do this on all phases going into the postseason.
I like what you're saying, because to me, this is the 2 versus the 5 matchup is what this is. And so what you do is you go and win this game.
Oh, yeah.
And you find a way to say, and you know, I'm not really style pointed. I don't want to do that. I just want to win.
Right. But we're back.
But you want to be able to tell the people in the league that if a playoff team comes into AT&T Stadium, you're not going to walk away with a victory.
You're not going to impose your will.
You're not. But if Arizona runs you, and then now there's that little bit of a doubt. I mean, they've had some bad losses this year at home. Mm-hmm. The Raider loss was a bad loss. The Denver loss was a bad loss. But I think if you find a way to win this football game, then it says a message that if you're one of those teams that's 5, 6, or 7 on that playoff sheet, and you want to come into AT&T Stadium and think you're going to pull the upset, not on our watch. Yeah. Not on our watch. So, yeah, I think it's a huge game on that way. Mike McCarthy talked about the crowd last week and what he felt like, how good the crowd was.
Oh, they were doing the wave.
Yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Well, I'm from here. You're from here too. As a crowd, it was like, I thought it was okay crowd. But I've seen playoff crowds here. Mm-hmm. I've seen playoff crowds. I felt playoff crowds when I was at Texas Stadium. With the Packers coming in.
Cowboys fans don't play.
So this is one of those games, I feel like, though, that now Mike McCarthy, you get a victory. Mike McCarthy in the post game will be standing up there and you'll be watching the podium and he'll go, that crowd was incredible. And that's what it's going to take, to beat these teams on the road, to beat teams that come into your place. You have to make it difficult for them. Cowboy fans do a great job on the road, making it difficult for the home team. Make it different everywhere they go.
I mean, the crowd's half blue.
Let me tell you, that makes a difference. That makes a difference defensively when offenses can't hear and there's motion penalties and there's all kinds of stuff going on. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. It really, really is.
Oh, I'm excited.
Excited?
To see the sea blue, yeah.
Sea blue.
I wonder if they did the white towels last week, so I'm wondering what they'll have this week for this one.
You like the white? You sound like you don't like the white towel.
No, I love the white towels.
Did you grab your white towel?
I didn't. I always forget these things. But no,
I
love walking in there and looking out and seeing a sea of white in the morning. It's just,
We get there way too early, don't we?
that we do. Yeah. Well, Brian, thank you again for joining me for
Week
17.
Appreciate the education.
Yes, and our weekly videos will be up on my YouTube channel, Brianna Dix. This one will be up shortly, and stay tuned for next week of the Blitz Crosstalk.